Yes, I do believe we're live. Hello, everybody. How we doing? Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Started a little bit earlier, just because I could. Touch of a button. That's the one good thing about technology. I've got a guest coming up that is on her way. She's literally running around trying to get in position, no doubt. So she will be jumping on momentarily. Other than that, I'd like to give a big hello to any new subscribers. As ever, a massive yo to all old subscribers, whatever shape and size, whatever colour you may be, whatever political nomination you want to put yourself in, whatever ideals you've got. We're all beautiful people. We make up the 99%, don't we? You know what I mean? So yes, people, how we diddling? Yes, Brick Girl. Brick Girl's in the house. Brick Girl's in the house. Evening all. Yes. Yes, Claire. Now then. Yes, Western Woman. Kev Camp. How we diddling? I feel love. Even the Pissinator's hat man in your last video. Did you ever meet him again? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I'm not bearing any grudges. The guy just come across wrong there, so it's no bigger. To me, I'm just going to leave it, go about my busyness. And if he approaches me and wants to talk, then he better just conduct himself in a better manner than he did do last time. So he's one of them. I've got no grudges, just crack on. You know what I mean? Everyone should be professional and not let things get too much on top of him. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah, come on, Katie. You know what I mean? Go out my way here. Set up the bleeding stream. You know, I mean, apart from put a brush up my ass and sweep the floor, pardon my French, what more could I do, Katie? You know what I mean? What are you doing? What are you doing? Yes, Brick Girl. How we doing? Yes. I hope you're doing all. Hope you're all doing positive. I hope you're all being positive, feeling positive. Self-empowerment, as much as all the negative shizzle rotating around us at a speed that's quicker than fucking human eye. The bottom line is, if you throw all that to the side, live your life, be as positive as you can be with you and your individuals, boom, all that anxiety goes. There's going to be turbulent times. There's going to be positions in your life where there's going to be travesties, all kinds of negative scenarios. But same again, being positive is the key. And we shall overcome this. Being positive, yes. Yes, everybody. Gerald, got Katie in the house, just come in. Yeah, she's coming. Yeah, look. Yeah. Now you turn up. I'm just about to go, Katie. You know what I mean? I'm done. I'm actually done. I'm only joking. Giving me hand gestures. I've no idea what that was because I'm all right. It's a thumb up, right? I'll take that. I've no idea. No idea, Brick Girl. I will be going on a quite illegal exercise bike ride tomorrow, and that could entail me ending up anywhere. But for the sake of the 77th Brigade, I shall be out on my bike enjoying some good fresh air wherever a bike rolls. So when a bike rolls, it can roll in whatever direction. So who knows? Who knows? So yes, Amanda. And I've got that interview lined up in the next week, Amanda, with that lovely lady. And that's thank you very much for your help on that. Matt Tavish is in the room. Yes. Yes. Yeah, Brick Girl. I put it up there because we're all being tracked and traced. So I realised it's there. That's actually taking the piss. And it's because we are, aren't we? In more than one facet of our life. You know what I mean? So that icon there is just a reminder that even if you think you got freedom of coming on a stream, yeah, you know what I mean? You talk to your phone or have a conversation with one of your friends on the bus, and then your phone will be telling you that whatever you spoke about, there's a load of adverts. So there's always an element of track and trace. And like I say, most people put their own channel icon, and I do on occasion, but I like that. I like that because it says it all, doesn't it? It does say it all. No. Well, I heard £10 an hour. £10 an hour. You know what I mean? I might consider joining the other side, and I might just target one or two individuals, start ringing their asses up at inappropriate times of the day and going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you at your bedroom window shouting out to your neighbour? Close your window. Do you not know how COVID is ravishing the planet? Close your window now, please." Seriously, you don't want to give me that power. I'd turn all fucking Tom Cruise on that shit. You know what I mean? Sorry to say. But anyway, waffling. How you doing, Kater? I'm going to bring you in very, very shortly when I stop waffling. So with that, we're going to discuss basically the goings on with Liverpool and the way we covered it and ramifications and all matter of elements around that with various other parts of the country as well. Hoping to have a couple of other guests join, but we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But other than that, I'd like to welcome you all to Red Pill Phil on YouTube with guest Katie Jane Swallow. Yes, still rocking to that. And I've got to say as well, we're multi-streaming here because of the glorified technology that Katie Jane Swallow's injected into this channel. Big time. I feel like I'm in the 25th century here with what she's been able to help me with and just all bits of advice. We're actually multi-streaming. So we're on my channel. We're on childrenmatter.news. And you want to explain the other channels there, Katie? And hello, by the way.
We're also live on Against Corruption and Abuse on YouTube, my personal YouTube, Twitter, and VK as well.
Excellente. Excellente. The broad reach, you know what I mean? In times when a simple post can go nowhere nowadays because they're shadow banning all over the place, doing this is one way of maybe getting under the radar. You still got algorithms that are going to pick you up, but you're making it difficult because you're spreading the load out rather than keeping it in one concise place. And that's what I love about this. I mean, a lot of people are doing that kind of stuff, but this scratches onto what we were doing at the weekend. I mean, how's your week been, first of all?
Week's been a bit hectic, but other than that, it's been a very productive week.
Yeah, you've been organising raffles and bits and bobs for childrensmatter.news, which we're going to hopefully cover at some point, definitely. And we're all representing in whatever way we can. And if anyone is listening who's not frequented with what Katie does, all you got to do is tap in on YouTube, childrenmatter.news. And there's a page there. Only a few subscribers compared to what mine is, but it don't diminish the work she's doing. In many ways, what she does deserves twice what I've got, without a doubt, and the way she tries to do it as well. But yeah, so very proud of what you're doing and always there supporting what you're doing. We decided to collaborate, didn't we? We had a little bit of an idea in terms of spontaneously attending the march. You wanted to attend the march in Liverpool as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And what I'd let you speak from here. What was the discussion we had and the troubleshooting, and how did we kind of come to that conclusion and whatnot?
Well, there's a lot of different things that we like, not just ourselves, but other people around us have been noticing about the way the police are holding themselves, the way they're acting on demonstrations, who they're targeting. And one of the things that you noticed the week prior were one of the YouTubers that they pulled over, they actually took all of his equipment. And in a safeguarding measure, it's one of them where if they take your equipment, you can't guarantee that nothing's actually done to that footage on there. Whereas if we had a main hub, which is what we looked at doing last weekend, where all that footage is then saved to obviously the devices I've got, the devices that they're being shared out to, and obviously moderators there downloading the footage as well at the same time. So yeah, it was just trying to find something new, trying to find different ways of approaching things, and we ended up finding a bit more ways to adapt when it came to keeping an eye on police presence, but yet being able to focus on why you were there in the first place.
Yeah. And all of a sudden doing that made it multidimensional, Katie. I mean, I was last to the party, as it were. There was 2 other people in on this. So let's explain what we've done, because it's not on my channel. This is on your channel, the stream. I've left it off purposely because I had a load of hard footage, which was pretty much obviously the same thing. But if people want to see the stream themselves, same again, the stream is there. What's the stream title, Katie?
Let me just double check for you.
If you want to stick the link in the, sorry, I should have got that up.
It's all right. It's We Are Louder Together, Uniting for Our Freedom, and I'll get the link for you now.
Brilliant. Because I left it on there purposely, just so, it didn't really matter either way. And what we tried to do was like what we're doing now. We've got a stream going, but we invited what we considered like as camera people, really, innit? Cameramen. And by doing that, it enabled us to cover the march in 3 different locations, whilst Katie was in the hub, the central, the hive mind, literally navigating it like a studio, looking through all the footage in the background, putting up what was most relevant, and then being able to vocalize to each of us hot spots, not hot spots, and maybe things of interest to go and film. And that was the first time that I've ever been involved in anything like that. And it was an idea we thrashed between the 2 of us. But by doing that, for me, what I was buzzing and excited about is, 1, the way we covered the march and everyone's contribution. Wasn't just about me and you, it was about Brett and Helen as well, what they done. But 2, the way it actually looked, you know what I mean, from different vantage points from the person watching it. And like you say, with the ease of people being grabbed and being taken now, the footage can go just like that. It could still be on a stream, but their equipment can just go. I've been there when one got it taken, and I was talking to a lad at the train who got a dispersal notice, and he got a fine from Edinburgh. And he was telling me one of the lads who covered a previous one, they took his £600 camera. They told him to come and get it. By the time he come and got it, they destroyed it. I haven't got verification of that, but that's what he was saying to me. So this is precarious. And the other beauty for me, I'll let you speak after this, Kate, sorry, is that if everyone surrenders their own time a little bit, becomes a bit of a journalist, and then gathers their own hub, we can all contribute, but at the same time, we're doing stuff for our own individual channel as well. I.e., the next time, if we do that again, it won't just be on your channel, because I couldn't stream on that day. It'll be on like this. It'll be spread wide and far. So if we had 4 other YouTubers that was invited in on the party, on the link, on the stream, not only would it go on their channel, it would go on all the other channels. So everyone benefits.
That's the whole point of it, though, isn't it? It's working together. We've all got different abilities in different ways, and we all come across differently. So when we can work together, then, it creates something bigger.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, if we took that model and literally any event, or even bigger, like we suggested, Cater, you could have multifaceted events all coming through one stream and anchored by maybe a couple of people, because you wouldn't expect any one individual to be able to oversee 3 cameras in 3 different locations at any one point and be able to juggle it all and da 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 da. But that is the realms that it's a possibility. And this technology we've got here, we could do it.
Well, yeah. Like I was saying to you after, it reminded me back about when I was training, being sat behind everything and being having to monitor and observe everything around. It's good brain workout.
Well, yeah. To be fair, Kate, we're at the rounds now where everything's got to be done a bit smarter now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like it's always worth evolving anyway. I mean, the amazing thing about the human race is its ability to learn and evolve. It just seems like with the way that the community has gone, we seem to have paused the evolution button and stopped learning from each other. I noticed Brit Girl was on earlier as well. A massive hi to Brit Girl because I've not seen her in ages. And yeah, it's nice seeing her name pop up again.
You know, she's awesome, Brit Girl. She stays in the background. She's getting on with it. But every time I speak to her, a positivity level just rises. Her own personal life, her own personal achievements seem to be just going out through the fucking glass ceiling. And I don't know whether that's because she's pulling back or whether personal development. Either way, she's in a top place at the moment. You know what I mean? If she wanted to come on now, she could do if she's still about. I don't know whether she is. That'd be great. So I said to her not so long back, invited in on a stream because honestly, she's a great girl. I think she will be going to London. I've heard, but I don't know. I know there's many different locations that's happening tomorrow. So this is the other thing about doing the multi-stream is that you're showing different angles of all the nefarious stuff that goes on at different points at any match. So having one stream just showing one angle, there could have been elements where the police were being out of order at a vantage point where you didn't pick it up, but camera number 2 is in the vicinity. And then, you know what I mean? You as an anchor could say, well, hold on, the police, like you did. Oh, look, the police are coming behind you, Phil. Watch out, watch out. You were like a Jiminy Cricket in a way. It was like, shit, you know, look around. But it worked. It really worked. Same with, really, is Brett coming on tonight? Because I really wanted to hear from Brett.
They did say they'd be about 10 minutes.
Right.
I did message them.
Right, okay, no problem. Well, while we're waiting for that then,
I mean, I sent you something yesterday which I got, which has made me buzzing because it's officially official now.
Oh, yes, you did. Do you want to tell people what it is?
Well, if I cover the number, I should be right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got my press pass. Actually got my press pass started.
Same again, that's inspiring that because that's next level stuff now. To be fair, I've been in consultation with not only my wife, but with a good friend about doing and with you. And this all derived from you the other day telling me and sending me the information about it, because ultimately that is the next move for anyone going out doing what they're doing now, because it's precarious. You can see how easy people are getting lifted for nothing. You can see in many ways, I don't know why I've not been lifted, because in some ways they could deem it as provocative what I'm doing, because I'm getting in the face and I'm being up and real with them. So I'm under no illusions that at any point I could be one of them. So I'm feeling that pass is a very cost-effective way of carrying on doing what you're doing, considering the cost of that pass and the cost of a fine if you get it. It's like half the cost. So it's a no-brainer to outlay the money for that if that can give you some form of backup when the shizzle hits the nizzle in the grizzle.
I'm trying to figure out where I put my envelope, because they did send me a whole pack with it as well.
Right,
which
as
has got
in,
everything in the pack as well, because it's got a membership that you can sign up to as well, which covers legal costs and everything. Let me just turn my camera off a second while I have a look for this envelope.
right,
It'll be
well,
in there with me. It's just saves you all
yes.
laughing at me while I'm fucking searching around.
Right, well, listen. While Katie's doing that, I'm gonna mute a camera. Well, in fact, I'm gonna do that. Right, when she's ready, then we're ready. Right. What Britain was built on, founded on, it wouldn't be anywhere without it, even though it didn't derive from this country. What are you talking about, Phil? I'm talking about the good old fashioned cup of tea, right? Where would you be without a good cuppa in the morning? The country was built on a bacon butter and a brew. Agreed? Agreed. Fuck all starts in most people's houses until that kettle has been switched on. And we all know that. So I've got to pay homage to the mighty brew. And there's someone else who's paid homage to it. Someone else who's done it in such a fashion that they've ghettoized the brew, but they've presented it in a way that is far more superior than all your other mainstream adverts in the past that has advertised this said product. So enough going on with yourself, Phil. Get on with it. Right then, here we go. Paying homage to what is the noble cup of tea. I hope you can get on this. I hope you can hear it. Oh, get the kettle on. A wee song about tea. So before you stick the kettle on, bear this in mind.
Here's a wee song about, well, it's a sort of liquid gold, so it is tea. Wait. 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Lovely kettle on the stove, the DOD is at your door. Ready to make an entrance, just wait and see. And sup a dozen milky cups of tea. Throw in the tea bags first so they can brew while we're having a chat. And second thoughts, I need a pee, so I'll be right back. Ain't nothing but the DOD, baby. They got the girls around the country going crazy. Never was the greatest fan of eating paisley. I'm unstoppable, so please don't try to stop me. I got a wee cup of tea in my hand. Perfection is perfected, I'ma let that tea stand. From the DOD's perspective, and before I dig at a biscuit, I have to make sure it's chocolate. You never know, it could be pouring the tea, stirring the tea, and at the same time chugging the tea. I'm in no rush now to dip my biscuit, no digestive good enough to get burnt while I'm up in it. And that's realer than Lane's or Barry's tea. And all the bitches and hoes want a piece of me. And when it's gotta get a buzz off a cup of tea, I take a massive fucking sup and then you'll see. It's like this and like that and like this and it's like that and like this and like that and it's like this and like that and like this and that's enough about tea. I better go to sleep.
Oh, did you get on that, Katie?
I did, that's ace.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Hello, everybody. You got the kettle on because I just had to. I've actually uploaded that. It's on unlisted. I've not put it on public because I seen it. My mate sent it through another link, and it just made me laugh. And I've got to say, wordplay is awesome because if anyone knows that tune, it's obviously Dr. Dre and Snoop Doggy Dogg, and both of them are not my favorite rappers at this moment in time. Although the original tune G Thing was a hip hop classic. But I don't dig it anymore for many reasons. But wordplay wise, when he says the line before I'm digging a biscuit, I'm like, man, that is perfect. When you know the original, you know that he's on it. And yeah, he was killed it. So sorry about that, Katie. Just had to use that as a little break. So what have you got for us?
Well, it's the membership pack that they send you. So they'll actually send you a membership pack, and it has got like a load of leaflets in it and everything, which has got everything you need to know. Mm-hmm. It does say on it, well, on most of the leaflets that it does have on it does say on it, do you want the best representation for disciplinary and grievance hearings? Join us, a truly independent trade union, giving you the best chance of success. So if you do have any issues when you're out filming with the police or anything, especially under the journalism side of things, then they do help you in representation as well there. So it is worth having a look into at the very least. So that's the Workers of England Union. I'll send you badges and keyring and that as well. So it's great.
Do you have any links there, internet links available? I'm sorry to kind of do this to you.
Yeah, I'll have to go through our chat, but that's not a problem.
All right, thank you. Just because if anyone's interested now, just bang it out there. Because I'm on it. Honestly, weekend, I'm going to book that. I'm going to get it sorted, go through. All I need to find out is if I've got a photo handy, and then I can just literally get it in the post straight away. Because it's vital now. It really is. You know what I mean? I know you're good at multitasking, but in terms of the police conduct, we know that generally they let people walk, but there was a few ugly moments, and we've got to acknowledge that as well as they let people walk. I mean, this is 21st century, and I've just said they let people walk. But in terms of the negative side of it, what did you make of some of the contact that they had with people that they were apprehending?
Well, I mean, it should become a knowledge that the police's first initial interaction with the public is supposed to be de-escalation. So they're supposed to de-escalate the situation. What we saw from that weekend was they never even attempted to de-escalate any situation. You'd have an officer stood over this side, you'd have a couple of officers stood over that side, and they'd all dart for the same person. So clearly the orders weren't coming from on the ground, it was coming from either in the van or, whatever, wherever. But they're not actually using any police tactics at the minute, like standard tactics that they're supposed to use according to their code of conduct. So, for example, de-escalation.
Yeah, just 1 second, Kate. Sorry, very unprofessional. The door's just knocked. 1 second.
That's all right.
Oh, my God. You keep going for one.
No problem. So, yeah, so we didn't see any of the police using any of their tactics that they're supposed to use according to their policy. We saw them straight away just going in, grabbing anyone who was holding a microphone or megaphone, anyone who was holding a speaker system. They had their eyes set on the people that they wanted to get out of the crowd. So they were targeting anyone with megaphones and speakers. They were targeting anyone that was shouted or screaming anything, anyone with very eye-catching signs. They were taking, and anyone taking clear direction of the place. Those were the people who were being focused by the police mainly. I mean, easy compromise about that. Say easy, it's not exactly too easy, but is for every one person that gets taken down, 2 more people stand up. 2 more people. Make yourself twice as loud as the person who got taken away for whatever reason they got taken away from. It makes it a hell of a lot harder. And yeah, they are only going to take you to the station just to get you away from that protest so the protest disappears.
In some cases, they're not doing that. In some cases, they're literally just dropping them off around the corner. You know, me cousin, my nephew rather, a few weeks ago in Manchester, they dropped him off at the tram stop. You know, many cases where they de-arrest. So they're clearly using it as a tactic. And then ultimately, I don't know whether that further curtails you going back because you've already been on a warning as such. So that could frighten. And the visualization of it as well, watching people being grabbed in that manner. There was a lot of shock to it. There was a lot of airiness. But people were adamant and thought, I'm working through this. Fuck it, you know. And they were all ages, even though a few commenters were pretty mad with people there. Almost like, well, you're going to witness a guy getting beat up by the cops and all you're going to say is shame on you. What do you want people to do? You know, because if you get the moment anyone gets violent at any point, throws anything, you give them justification for them to take it to the next level. So it's a game you will never win. I mean, I'd seen on my footage as well, there was a van that I walked past. And as I walked past, the sliding door opened. A red light was on inside, and there was a row of fucking riot shields. So it's only going to take them 2 minutes if they're seeing that half a dozen men are now kicking off with police. And then, boom. I mean, look with the positivity on that march, Katie, right?
Oh,
You've
yeah.
seen it, you were watching it. Look at this headline. You know, and it's just totally misleading. That's the Liverpool Echo. That is the city's own press that's representing them. Those arrested.
While you're on this, I just want to point out one word to people on there. Legislation. The reason I want to point out the word legislation on there is because that there states exactly what that is. Coronavirus legislation. Nowhere does it say law, because if they put it in black and white that it's law, then they'd be committing a fraudulent offence, because if for it to go through law, it has to go through the public. Nothing regarding the coronavirus has gone through the public. They put a small form up which they never told the public about in regards to vaccines and tests, but they never actually put anything public for anyone to create any law. That word legislation there can baffle the police up if used in the right way.
Well, when you read this is literally a demonization against the people that were there, and it's on the assumption that you're shader. You're actually a detriment to society by doing what you're doing. You're not exercising your freedom. You're not being human. And let's face it, is there any medical consequences that back up their theory of you being negligent? I.e., is there a mass spike of deaths and corona or COVID cases that are resulting in hospitalization? You can argue the testing system, you can argue the cases per se, but you need to see a dramatic spike. I mean, let's face it, Katie, if we went to that march, right, and then there was a headline that in Liverpool there was a exponential jump in cases, which led to an exponential jump in hospital visits, which then went to another exponential jump in deaths, then we'd all have to go, right, there's something here. But we all know in our daily lives that is not the case. You know what I mean? Look, it's saying here, Merseyside police were in attendance and said they would like to thank the people of Liverpool for their patience as they dealt with the group. What does that tell you reading that line?
I'm a bit caught up in the guilt trip in the next paragraph, if I'm honest with you.
Mm.
But to dealt with the group, the group was the citizens of Liverpool.
Well, yeah, it makes you sound like you're just a rogue load of students that's been running around the school. You know what I mean? So,
exactly. And that last paragraph where it's guilt tripping people, all that's basically saying to me is that everyone who isn't abiding to the coronavirus lockdown is murderers, basically, because everyone else is sacrificing and stuff, which they shouldn't actually have to sacrifice if people looked into their laws, their rights, and how, in fact, viruses and illnesses work in general. You know, I'll revert people back to the chickenpox parties that people used to have as an example of how society has always, survived through different forms of illnesses.
Herd immunity. We have seen infection rates driven down in Merseyside thanks to the commitment of so many people. Infection rate of what? There's... Oh, no. You see what I mean? When you break this down, they're still keeping the fear up there, and they're not talking about the recovery rate. So if you want to talk about infection, let's talk about infection, but let's talk about the rate of recovery, seriously, which will override the deaths, which will override the cases when you really break it down. You know what I mean? All the types of doctors that are coming out, even talking about PCR testing. I was watching a video before of a Dr. Mike Yeadon. Now, I daren't post this as I'm going to get another strike. And that comment, Rob Smith, I'll answer that in a bit, mate. I will get to that. But he was talking about the PCR test detecting dead cells, right? RNA cells. And basically he's saying that his quote, why are we using a test that cannot distinguish between active infection and people who have conquered the virus? So the cases doesn't necessarily mean someone has an active virus. It could mean they done had it and got rid of it a long time ago. But the PCR is not designed to pick up an active virus. It's designed to pick up elements of it. So you could have dead cells of the COVID on you, in your nasal passages, wherever. And according to this doctor, it's not contagious, you're not infectious, you're not going to give it to anyone. So if you're still coming positive on the basis of that, that is still a lie within itself. And that's without talking about the false positives, Kater.
Well, this thing, I mean, there's a few German doctors that have come out. I mean, I'd bring them up, but I'd be the only person, probably the only person on here to actually understand what's being said. But I've been watching quite a few of the meetings, medical meetings over in Germany, where they've been explaining the coronavirus, and they use visuals as well as they're going along. So it's a bit harder for me to explain if I try and translate it, but it goes through about how the coronavirus is basically just, well, made up. That it is literally just made up of different structures that they already existed, that was already there, basically within the flu. Someone made a comment a bit further up. If it's all right if I address it quickly.
Go for it.
Just get to it. Rob Smith said they're trying to provoke a reaction to justify their actions. My personal theory is that they're trying to provoke riots, they're trying to provoke fear, they're trying to provoke outrage and the general public kicking off so that they can so that it warrants bringing the army in. They've had the army on standby since before the 14th of March this year. I've got family in the army, I've got my brothers just qualified with the RAF, so I've got whispers from what's going on inside. But they've been on standby since before the 14th of March, since before the demo I did before lockdown even came in place. They've not been taken off standby. They then got moved into Liverpool to go to schools. We should be screaming at people massively. Why are they going to the schools? Why is the school their first point of call? Young, impressionable kids away from their protective figures, vulnerable.
Like someone said in the actual march when I was talking to them about it, it should be a choice. If you want your kids screened and tested, then go for it. But you don't have to do a mass screening and not allow any parent any right to decline that. You can't do that. And then play on the heartstrings, the emotional heartstrings. I mean, look at this. So it will be incredibly frustrating for all those people to see that a minority of selfish individuals chose to flout laws brought in to protect the lives of people across Merseyside, putting our communities and themselves at risk. I mean, fucking hell. So that is just one hell of a demonizing statement. It's marginalizing people. It's making you seem like you're the one that's the threat, not the elements of the lockdown, which has caused a rate of depression, anxiety, suicide, and, just overall low energy feelings across the world. Nothing to do with that. A few people just walking, well, not a few, maybe a couple of hundred, maybe 1,000. But like I say, when going back to the figures, if anyone wants to trigger and go, well, you could be creating, show me the figures where all these marches do create these spikes that are endangering people. They can't do it and they never do it. Sorry, Kate.
No, it's like I've just been asked to look something up in the chat, so I'm just typing it in.
Right. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to address Rob Smith's question because while I'm on it, and then he's asking why I've not been about because I got a strike, and this is what it was for. Let me move your comments so we can. That's what it was for, and it expires on the 16th of February. They removed this one, a general talking about rigging and basically how it was used as something in the army overseas, but then they've used it as protocols and tools on the American people. And you could argue even wider, they might have used it in other countries as well if there is a wider influence. So I uploaded that video. It got nearly 3,000 views. And at some point, without me knowing, they banned it off. No kind of questions asked, no nothing. The next one was obviously the moment, it was obviously on the same day, I didn't realize, to be skeptical, vaccination is to be expected, you know what I mean? And it was quite a logical and well put together video. I think it only got like 35 views. They removed it straight away and give me a strike because under their premise, I'd already broke the guidelines by being on a warning. Now, if I'd got both of them on the same day, you could argue at what point did I get either one of them? So if the first one, the general one, got a warning, did they take them both down at the same time to say, well, you've had your warning? But I don't know, and I'm not going to argue it. I couldn't be asked, to be honest. It was a long week where I couldn't upload anything. I went to the other platforms and tried to do little bits and bobs. You can see how they've got a hold. Going back to what I constantly see with people who come on the channel who comment, they're constantly telling me their comments are being removed. And they're not even controversial comments in any way. They might be just liking and bigging up the video and they seem to be being censored. They're constantly telling me that they'll go to thumb up a video and it doesn't correspond with the number then elevating by 1. So basically the number doesn't move, so that thumb up. And so there's all kinds of shenanigans, as well as shadow banning and all the other shit that I must be going through. And you will be, Katie, because we talk about certain subjects. So it is one of them that as a content provider, you have to learn to deal with. Probably my worst mistake was being too overt with the title, to be skeptical of vaccination. I mean, that's a red flag. And what I will say to put a bookend on explaining about this, have I got it here? Yeah.
We've got them in as well, by the way.
Brilliant. Right, we've got one in. Excellent. I'll get back. All right, sweet. All right, sweet. Right, I'll just play this. Well, not play it, but I'll show this. This is something that Janaea sent me because Janaea also got a strike from talking about the same type of content. And this is what she got. How your content violated the policy. YouTube doesn't allow content that explicitly disputes the efficacy of local health authority or World Health Organization guidance on social distancing and self-isolation that may lead people to act against that guidance. So in other words, that's the narrative, the World Health Organization, and they don't want me putting up anything that's going to make you think for yourself and maybe go against that narrative. That is as simple as that. So that's why I got that ban. And I'm now on probation because now I've got till February where if I make another video that they deem goes against that narrative, then they'll ban me for 2 weeks. If I do another one before the February, then it'll go to 3 and they'll delete the whole fucking channel. So I'm literally on thin ice until February, until I go back to 0. So bit of a long rant, but I wanted to explain that. But right now, we've got 2 other integral members about to come in on the stream who played a massive part, just as much as me, just as much as Katie, in the day on the day in Liverpool. They were 2 other camera people, one Brett and one Helen. And unfortunately, Brett ended up receiving a bit of a slap wrist. So I thought it'd be great to get them on and explain their position on what happened and their overall view. So hello to Brett and Helen. How are you doing, guys? Can you hear me?
Hi, guys. You on?
Can they not hear me? Hello. Hello, Brett and Helen. Can you hear me?
Hello.
What's going on? Why are they not talking?
Good. Good.
Oh, here we go. Right, then, how you doing, guys?
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sweet, mate. Time
We've
for
got
you.
just for Phil.
Say again. You all right?
Can you hear me?
what I'm saying?
1 minute. Let me go in the background, see if it makes any
Am I
better.
moving?
You're moving. You're moving. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just about, but yeah.
Right. Okay. You might need. What are you playing it through? Are you playing it through your phone or a laptop or?
Phone, mate.
Right. Have you got your volume right up?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you are. Have you got? See, this is where a pair of headphones probably may be better. But if both of you are on, it's going to be difficult to do that. So you can hear me when I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Yes.
Right then.
Loud and clear.
Sorry for smoking, but thanks a lot for you both for jumping on the stream.
Not
For
a
now,
problem.
thank you very much for what contribution you brought to that stream. You got there before me, so I'd just like you to explain what made you want to go to there and what you discovered when you got there.
Well, why did we go there? We went there. Well, it's my home city, so yeah, born and bred.
Scouser, isn't she? So
Born and bred, so yeah, it means a lot to me. So I've been watching them the last few weeks and being a bit gutted because I've not been able to go because through work and stuff. So first opportunity.
And what
I was
about your
there.
wider family, Helen? Have you still got family there in Liverpool? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And how are they dealing with it? Are they on your side with how you feel, or are they?
Definitely not.
Mhm.
We don't
Right.
mention it, Phil. Let's just say that we just don't talk about it. Causes murder.
Right. So, what would their opinion be of this anti-lockdown protest? I'd like to call it a freedom march.
Totally against it. Totally against it.
Right. Right.
Well, yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
the black
well,
sheep.
You know, it's crazy when you think about
they
it.
just
Really.
go with the flow, basically.
Mm.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, certainly. So, when you got there, what was the atmosphere like? The police presence. How was it all feeling at the time when you first arrived?
Well, when we first got there, we bumped into Lawrence, which is Maggie Clark's son. If people don't know, I've seen him before on YouTube tackling bailiffs. You know, when bailiffs go around to the house and enforce whatever they think they can do, he stands up for the little man, so to speak, and preaches all common laws and stuff like that. And basically, it's usually the police come, then they agree with Lawrence, and then send the bailiff on the way, basically. So,
right,
he's very active in that sense. So we bumped into him. So it probably wasn't the best person to walk into with, because he is well known to Liverpool police, let's say.
Right. So, how did Liverpool police react to him being there?
Well, they obviously must have observed him when we was walking into the actual town centre, so to speak. I was sort of like walking one side of the road, not with anybody, so to speak, as not to look like a group, so to speak, and all that. So, and then when we got into Liverpool, we bumped into who was it? Tyrant Finder.
Yeah.
I spotted Tyrant Finder, another YouTuber, quite well known. And he just started shouting, "Oh, I've been given a Section 35. I've got to get out of town." All this
That was before the demo even started.
That was before the demo even started. That.
Wow. And did you see that?
He got that.
What was that, Helen? Sorry.
He picked his ticket up at the bottom of Bell Street. I think he was heading for the bombed out church, and the police had got him at that point.
But there weren't no groups there then. But there were obviously like Tyrant Finder. He's probably got a tripod, and he's it was clearly visible to what he was doing, so to speak.
Yeah.
But surely, though, don't you have to prove at this point that someone is actually attending the march? I mean, anyone could be just walking with a camera doing all kinds of filming, technically speaking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You could be just walking around getting some stock footage of Liverpool town centre whilst the lockdown's on, whilst exercising.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You are allowed.
I actually done shopping on that day. I made reservations and collected them that day from Liverpool. So I was technically shopping.
Kill two birds with one stone.
And I do have the receipt.
He does have the receipt to prove it.
Well, there you go, you see. So these are, we can't just ultimately give that up. But I guess you've got to be careful as well. I mean, going back to the common law bit, guys, the first time I went to Liverpool, I was approached by a guy just as I was about to set the camera up. And he was saying to me, when the police approach you, whatever you do, say to him, I don't consent,
Yeah.
and do you understand?
Yeah.
And he was like in my
Maybe.
face saying it. I'm like, all right, okay, no. But he said, do you get that? That's all you have to say. Them two things. 5 minutes later, he was flanked by 2 police being put in the back of a van.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work. You can't
Well,
just go up and start saying I don't consent and they're just going to walk away. You've got to be smarter, and we've all got to work out how to do that. But ultimately, it's a journey within itself with what's happening.
Yeah, definitely. I was saying that about the common law before. It just goes over my head.
I'd like to know what smart is, and because basically they're just bullies, and they'll just doesn't. I don't think it matters what you say, what you do, unless you've got a load of like-minded people to stand there with you. They're just gonna, like what happened, gypsy grab you, and there you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
It was clear to me at the start of it. I went down that route of the I do not consent and all the rest of it. And he kept asking for my name, and I'm like thinking, what an idiot I am. I've got my driving license in my pocket. I know for a fact that they're going to be searching my pockets very soon and all the rest of it if I start being a dick with them, so to speak. And to be quite truthful, the constable that spoke to me, he was all right. In all truthfulness, it was just like I felt like I'd gone to McDonald's to drive through. I were in there and I were out of there. It
Right,
was
so
really
let's skip forward a little bit, Brett. What we've not discussed yet is, you've just said it now, you got a fine and you got, what is it, a dispersal notice, yeah? Let's talk about
dispersal order.
Right, let's talk about what led up to that. What was you doing at the time that happened? Where was you at? And was you filming at the time? Do you want to
Yeah,
paint
I was filming constantly all the time. And while I was being processed, I was still filming, but I'd stuck my phone in my pocket.
Right.
So I didn't want them to be grabbing my phone or anything like that. I could still hear Katie in my pocket, and I'm like saying, "We've lost B. I think we've lost B." And things like that. And I remember you. I remember you. Oh, phone's just died. Shit.
Oh no, we've lost him. Katie. We're gonna have to get some power packs for these guys.
I've got them here waiting.
What the hell? And they got a plug socket where they live. What the hell's going on there?
I don't think they're at theirs.
Oh, right, okay. Well, I'll let them off. But yeah, it's an interesting story. You know what I mean? And this is testimony. What are more of the circumstances around it? Because it's indicative of what was going on. People just innocently just being picked for no apparent reason. And like he said, to a degree, when you're in that position, it is every man for himself. So there's no point being a cocky git, because that's only going to up it with them. They're already put. Here we go. They're back in the room. Right, brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Sleeping Warrior wants to cover section 34, so I will cover that. I just don't want to jump too far ahead when you are in the middle of something. So I will go on to that. I've got it up on my other screen, so I won't forget. Right.
Well, we'll get this little chat with Brett and Helen done, and then we'll go straight to that. Yeah, that's fine. No problem at all. All right, Brett. So you were saying, mate, what was the environment like? They pulled you. You had Katie and me rumbling in your pocket. What were they after at that point?
They just basically wanted to process me details. Basically, they didn't ask me what I was doing. They told me what I was doing. They said, "You're obviously part of this demo." And then he started having reason to leave and just started reading me rights, so to speak. You're going to be done for this, whatever he said. He's basically going to process you for this, and that was it basically. But everything he said to me, I was trying to go the common law route and all the rest of it. But when they pulled me into the van, there was a guy behind me that he'd been gypsy grabbed, and he wasn't telling him anything. But I heard the 2 police officers in front of me saying, "Well, he's going to whatever station. That guy in that van, he's going to another station. He's not saying no either." And I already know that they put you in police cells and just leave you there till as long as they can. And I didn't want that, to be quite truthful. I had my driving license in my pocket, so it obviously were going to either put the photo scanner on me, fingerprint and whatever, because I am known to the police. So, you know.
So it's a question of, like you're saying, if you're going to be cocky or if you're going to be in that kind of manner with them, which we're all legally obliged to do, but they ultimately are going to make life difficult for you as well. So before
I
you
knew that, so I was trying to make it the best thing for myself. In all truthfulness, I couldn't be asked going to no police station, whatever. My phone was low on battery, and I was like, right, I know what's happening here, so we might as well just get it over with, basically.
Yeah. So how long was the whole process?
Probably 20 minutes.
Right.
But from when I first got pulled into the door, you arrived just as I got pulled into the door. When Katie was streaming, it went from me to Helen for like a couple of seconds, and then to you, and you was talking. And it was when, you know, you was filming the guy on the floor getting punched.
Right,
okay.
I'm in the doorway just at the side of you.
You've actually caught him on film as well, Phil.
Oh, no way. I'll have to look over
You
that
can actually,
footage.
there's actually a couple of seconds of your stream where I'm in the doorway with the police officer. So
I didn't realise, because obviously the focus was on this guy.
Yeah, that was it. I was like, my God, all I could hear was loads of noise. I couldn't see what was happening because I was in the doorway. And I could hear all shouting and all the rest of it, and loads of police like heading that way. And like everybody was there. I could hear loads of people, and I'm like, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, mate.
Then she just walked off, like carried on. Like.
I was watching the fella on the ground.
I know, it's like, mate, you've been overshadowed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
That guy upped you and then give you more. It's like, I mean, what did you think of the incident? He got sprayed, he got punched.
Oh, it was awful.
A few times.
It's disgusting, isn't it? There's nothing else other than it's disgusting. You don't have to do that to people. There's no need.
But there is an inquiry into that, isn't there? Seeing that in the Liverpool Echo the day after.
Wicked. I'm glad to see it, because
that's so many complaints that they're looking into the arrest that took place.
Brilliant.
Which is good.
Brilliant, because the guy, I seen the guy was stood in front of me, the policeman that actually went and run down and punched him twice in the head, and I seen him later on in the march. He was in the middle of the march, as it were, and everyone's just like screaming, "Shame on you!" Same again, not being overly aggressive, but letting them know they're frustrated and got no confidence in the police system. The guy's got a mask on, and I turned to him and said, you're loved, aren't you?" And he just looked with this smile like he didn't give a fuck about how people think about him. He's just, you know, and I think if you can walk around justifying treating people like that and then hide behind your badge, it shows me that you've lost humanity. You have. And you're using that badge as a way of getting away with it. And I think, if anything, if these lockdowns are showing something, it's showing that element of that percentage of police that are like that. That is exposing the bad element of police, because I don't want to castigate all police here, because we all know we can have an emergency incident and we'll need one, and the chances are it might be a decent policeman or officer that works with you. But unfortunately, this is the bad side, and the irony is they're the ones castigating us in the articles, or anyone that happens to want to do that. You know what I mean? And them actions can't go unnoticed. So I'm glad someone's picking that up, Helen. I'm really glad about that.
They got a hell of a lot of complaints about that, which is fair enough. So they should. It was disgusting the way they handled it.
The guy was
walking. It was the same with Lawrence as well. When they got him, there was 15 police there in total, so they were well ready. You know what I mean?
Do you know Lawrence, Phil?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I've met him on the circuit. The name don't ring a bell, but I might know him.
You can see him on the stream at one point. Lawrence Easman, his name is. He has his own podcast as well.
He's
very well known in Liverpool.
What's his YouTube page called? Do you know?
Called Lawrence Easman.
Right. Okay. And I was chatting to him on the day.
You were chatting to him on one of the streams. I've watched it.
Right. Okay. He didn't make it apparent that he was a YouTuber or whatever, or we didn't get talking about it. So, right. Many people covering it. You know, it's just a shame. I mean, in terms of that's happened to you now, Brett, where do you lie with it all? How do you feel about
Pardon?
where do you lie with it all now? Has that intimidated you? Has that made you feel fearful about doing it again? Has it made you double down even more? Has it made you do any of it?
I was a bit, but I jumped on Jimmy the Hat stream last night on Wake Up UK with Charles Spencer, and Charles Spencer's very well law like, and I asked him about it. I told him what happened and everything, and he was just like, "Well, 75% of the people aren't paying it anyway." So, and if they ask you if you go to court, they ask you what you was doing, you say, "Oh, you was going to a COVID test station." You was just walking through town, and this happened. So I'm really not that bothered. I'm a bit like it. It doesn't affect me. I don't know. I haven't had the letter through yet. I don't know why I haven't had the letter through yet, because I believe it comes quite quickly. You know, the fine for the COVID or whatever.
I bet it comes quicker than if you called the police and said there's an emergency at your house. Can you please come and help me? You know what I mean? And that's how it feels at the moment. It's like, what the hell, you know? But this is going on up and down the country. It's going on with all types of walks of life. You know what I mean? And from what I've seen, the majority of it is uncalled for, and it's not a breach of the peace. That's the thing. You're not breaching. You're not actually being aggressive. You're not using any swear word. You're not doing anything that would kind of make them realize that we need to pull him off. I'm all up for the breach of the peace if someone's losing it on the streets and they need to be contained and wheeled off the streets, but that is not that. And that's the point that has to be made here, that when you've got headlines that are demonizing the hell out of everyone there, that they're almost murderers for deciding to walk like that without adhering to social distancing. I think that point has to be made, that you can see how peaceful all these marches are. I mean, what do you think about that in terms of what you've been watching on the lockdown marches, Brett, in terms of the peace? Or
it's like, I think I've started studying common law, and I'm trying to look at everything like that now. And basically, there was no crime to what I did. Sorry, there was no victim. So there's no need for police. The police shouldn't be doing anything because it's a civil matter. There's no law on COVID. It's only guidelines. So that's the way I look at that. And I just think it's a farce. And I'm like, you know what I mean? See you in Manchester tomorrow, or give me another one, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, this Sleeping Warriors put up here, police have lost the public now. Well, in our world, they have. Predominantly speaking, I'm not sure whether that's the case, but I think with every incident like this that happens, it's going to highlight the issue. There's more and more people that even probably don't agree with the lockdown, anti-lockdown, or the Freedom March, whatever you want to call it, but they won't agree with the way the police handled that either. You know what I mean? My wife, she's not in disagreement, otherwise she won't want me doing it. She just wants to go along to get along, fair play. She fully supports what I do. I shown her the footage of that. She was disgusted. She hasn't really got the balls like me to go out and start, you know what I mean, getting in people's faces like I am. She's like, whoa, just, you know, I'll just whatever, stay in the background. But she looked at that and said, nah, I can't condone that. You know what I mean? And same again, we've got the frustration that I'm fearing from people is that this is a ticking time bomb. You know what I mean?
Criminals are treated better off police, are given more respect, I feel. Actual, you know, like bank robbers or burglars or whatever else, you know what I mean? They just, you watch videos of them being processed and being arrested, and like, right, we've got you, you know what I mean?
That's it, isn't it?
And then you see the person that's walking down for freedom being fucking punched and kicked and kneeled on and all the rest of it.
It was the way they were grabbing. They were just sneaking up and just grabbing them. It was like a gypsy grab, weren't it?
Yeah, it was indeed.
Term ever that, Phil. It really was.
It was shock treatment. You know what I mean? You've got to look at it. And then when you're seeing people still carrying on, you know, it's horrible to think that you're leaving people behind being gripped. But no one had any choice. At one point, it got that much that everyone was just stood around for like 10 minutes while one incident was just break. It got to the point where not people had enough, but it done it that many freaking times that it just literally exacerbated everyone. Yeah. Yeah, and we were trying to be positive and try to roll on, and we was. I mean, generally, the numbers were high, and it was all great. The weather, it could have been better. I don't think it was as good as the first week. There could have been multiple reasons for that. Where it moves forward, who knows? You know what I mean? Anything you want to say here at this point, Kater?
Yeah, I'd say people should look into the Bill of Rights. I say that's something that's been overlooked massively, and I say there's a reason why that it's been kept away from the public's attention for as long as it has. In regards to comparison against the Magna Carta, the Bill of Rights will do you a lot better than the Magna Carta would in regards to what's going on currently. The other thing is the Section 35 dispersal notice. What Sleeping Warrior asked me to pull up earlier. If you don't mind, I'll
go for it. Go for it.
I've tried to zoom it in as much as I can. I'll have to try and zoom in a bit more.
Get rid of this.
Yeah, just keeps going in.
That's what I have to do for a minute. I'm going to have to try and read it off that screen though, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to read it properly. Specifically, they wanted to look at this section here, but I'm just going to go through it all anyway, just to give everyone a bit of clarity over the authorizations to allow the police to actually be able to use the Section 35 dispersal notice. So Section 1 of Section 34 is a police officer of at least the rank of inspector may authorise the use in specified locality during the specified period. I'm not more. Sorry, I'm fucking losing my track.
He did that.
I've not
Officer
more than 48 hours.
Nobrot arrived when I were in the van.
What was that, Brett?
That actually happened. Inspector Nobrot, should I say, he arrived when I was being processed, telling me what I could and couldn't do. But I just told him I couldn't hear what he was saying because I didn't like his attitude. And
how did he take to that? Did he just because you know what?
He just gave me a nasty, violent, evil look. And I just sat and I just pointed to the person that was processing. I said, me and him have spoke completely fine. You've just come over here and just give me a load of grief. Like I said, he'll tell you that I've been all right with him and he's been all right with me. And he just just looked at me.
You can see the setting though, can't you, Brett? Because ultimately you've been put in there. The way the police, on both occasions, both in Manchester and in Liverpool, the way they give interviews to the press, they demonize the hell out of anyone that turns up there. So you're a product of that when you're in the station. So according to him, you're a waste of time. You're wasting his time and you're probably a danger to the public. It's almost like I'm surprised they didn't get you on terrorism charges, mate. Because
all the victims that I caused.
Then you are a terrorist legally, aren't you?
Not legally. Well, yeah, legally, not lawfully. I wanted just to put everyone's attention onto Section 34, Section 3. In deciding whether to give such authorization to an officer must have particular regard to the rights of freedom of expression and freedom of assembly set out in Articles 10 and 11 of the Convention. The Convention has the meaning given by Section 21, Section 1 of the Human Rights Act 1998. So I'm chewing a lemon at the same time. So that section alone and that subsection, it basically states that for a protest or for a gathering, you know, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, that they actually have no right to give you dispersal notice. So Section 34, subsection 3.
Coronavirus legislation override that?
No, nothing overrides human rights.
I mean,
nothing overrides your own human rights.
I'm not saying it should do by any means. I'm saying, is this the excuse that they're giving?
Can't do. They can't do because then it's biological warfare. That's what the pandemic had then be turned into, using a biological, pandemic as a weapon against the people to enslave the population, so they wouldn't actually be
genocide against us right now.
Yeah. Well, this is what people don't seem to understand. You know, when they're criticizing everyone that goes out here and when they're demonizing people. Has that policeman ever considered the suicide rate, the depression, and how people generally feel? And even now, over the past day or so, we've heard that we're basically going from, at least up here, from lockdown to tier 3, which is not going to be much better. And unless things change radically, that means Christmas is written off, would you not say? So are they not thinking of how people might feel about that? And are they just saying, if you're going to be complicit, say nothing, sit in your house and comply, then you are regarded as patient? But are they not realizing the effects within each one of them households when you're doing that to a household, whether they've got the balls to stand up or not? It gets me, because this is depressing shit. When people can't book a holiday, when people can't go out, when people can't book a wedding. I've had multiple friends that have tried to book 3 or 4 fucking weddings within this 8-month gap. And because the rules keep changing, the country's laws keep coming in and out, they're gutted. You know what I mean?
Hypocrisy with the 5 days COVID break at Christmas. That's just a lot of people. There's question marks entering people's heads over that. You can't. Even the most, I don't know, non-intelligent person must understand that doesn't make sense. Like COVID can have a break for 5 days.
Hold on, sorry, Phil, but do you really think
link to my channel, I can get that now.
Meat racks? Well, no, I know you're right, mate. We can't argue with that. That's how it feels. It feels like almost now people who think like this. I'm going to jump to we're second-class citizens now, and particularly because this now is scratching towards conspiratorial kind of this, conspiracy theorists, and you're all anti-vaxxers. You're anti-vaxxers that if you don't vaccinate, you're going to be the spike against the normal population that just want to live their life. I can see the projection already, and I've only seen that through that headline, the way they've categorized everyone, and they've tried to make out as if a minority of people. Yeah, it might be a minority, but how many of the people who are watching, who thoroughly support people going on lockdown? How many people who know that their business is closed down, who thoroughly support the fact of lockdown? You know what I mean? That have not got the balls or maybe got a job to worry about. That is the silent majority. Because with each day that goes, guys, you guys speak up here at some point and shut me the fuck up because I don't know when to stop. But it's like more and more people who didn't buy into this are now buying into it because they can see how nefarious it is. Without them shutting up.
Well, Rachel's just put a comment in about Ellie Williams, about her being released.
Yes, right, okay, jump on that. Right.
Oh, well, quick.
Fabulous news.
I should have mentioned it earlier on, and I do apologise.
I think it slips all of our minds because we've been fighting so much. The good news is getting kind of overshadowed by everything else that's going on at the minute. So it is nice to take a little pause and enjoy the good news.
And it was her birthday yesterday as well.
Really? Even better. Right, let's tell the whole story, guys. Barrow in Fairness is going an open secret that there's been grooming transpiring in that area. People have been castigated for talking about it, namely Ellie Williams and Ellie Reynolds. Ellie Reynolds decided to come out in support of Ellie Williams being incarcerated for supposedly making up this whole sordid affair about her being groomed and trafficked. She was put on multiple charges, and basically the last we knew, wasn't it, guys, that she wasn't due to be kind of seen until next year. I received a phone call probably 2 days ago now off Ian, which is Ellie Reynolds' father. And he basically told me that Ellie is now back with the family and she's out on bail. Now, in terms of how that transpired, I've yet to find out, so I can't really say who was involved in that. All I can say is what I was saying quite a few weeks ago. The reason why I wasn't talking about the Ellies is because things were going on in the background, and without kind of saying it's a need to know, you know what I mean? Just keep positive things moving without spreading any false lies and getting people going in wrong directions over things. So that was my stance, and I was personally over the moon because my first thought on this, and same again, I'm going to shut the fuck up, is I'm buzzing for the family of the Williamses that have gone through so much and have got the girl back. Regardless of the movement, regardless how we feel about it, the family there buzzing for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Like you say about Ellie Reynolds, she's been an absolute gem.
She's a diamond.
She's absolutely... She's like a Ferrari engine, that girl. She's so good.
Yeah.
She's
had her own troubles
the
through
amount
all
of
this,
work
right?
that she's put into it.
We've got to remember these girls are survivors.
And just to actually do anything is amazing.
Yeah, these girls are survivors. Ellie Reynolds was a survivor that only stood up because of how she's seen Ellie Williams. So not only is she going through her own personal struggle as a survivor, but she's doing what she can to correlate information and help with her case and also with the Williams. And that is more than just what you would perceive as a normal activist because of what she's personally going through. And she's not totally dealt with yet, because how can she deal with it when no one will accept what's actually happened to her?
Yeah, and she's also been attacked as well along the way from all sides, basically. The police as well, and police have been doing drive-bys on the house and everything, haven't they? They've been doing all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, they've been persecuted, mate. I mean, that's the cut and bottom of it. So in terms of Barrow, the hating is still going to go on. You're still going to get websites that are going to come out targeting him and calling them all far right. You know, the usual tags and stuff. The bottom line is they've just got to stay positive. And with Ellie Reynolds, she knows she's got the golden ticket, which is the NRM. You can't dispute that. I do believe Ellie Williams's NRM is in the process as well. So there's going to be a lot of backtracking, I feel, and there'll be a lot of truths that will come out that will be good and bad. There's going to be some probably ugly pills within it all, but ultimately, I think what she's saying is got merit in it. We all know that, and it's going to be proven. You know, so we've just got to be positive for the families and not get too wound up about it ourselves. We've got to think about what's important here, and it's the survivors. You know what I mean? So buzzing for a lot of them, buzzing for the movement to have a bit of good news as well. You know what I mean?
Of course.
We see some,
absolutely, yeah.
You know, where it goes from here, who knows, guys? But what I will say about you two, right, is I commend you two. Because, you know, I've met you, a couple of years now, and I've met you in multiple places all over the place. And
everywhere.
I wouldn't say non-partisan, because you obviously have got your politics and whatever, everyone's individuals, but you don't mind sharing your support on multiple different organizations, and you don't stick your eggs in any one basket. You see
no.
positive, and you'll go out and boots on the ground and you'll support it. So I mean, I've got to commend you for that, even with this and what happened with you there. Okay, but people,
I've got a gob, so I use it.
Mate, honestly, it's people like
basically,
you.
I've got a car and I've got a gob, so I use it that way.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And if I believe in the cause, I'll back the cause. Doesn't matter what it is. If I believe in it, I'll back it.
Well, like you say, I mean, that's isolated you probably from members of your family as well, you know, and that'll happen up and down the country with this particularly. This will be probably more polarizing than anything that most of us have covered in a way, because it's so personal to everyone in a family household. So everyone's got their own freaking trigger levels on how they're going to react to it. But to stick to your guns and literally go out and do the right thing and still take the crap. I'll never forget, Ellen, the first time I spoke to you, it was in Manchester, and someone had come up and called you a racist because you held up a news report that was talking about grooming gangs.
Yeah, that was actually the first time I spoke to you, Phil. But yeah, I remember that
Oh,
one.
was it? Okay. It was the first time I'd
I spoke
filmed
to you when Billy opened the shop.
Pag UK
Right.
opening night was first time
Ah,
we
right,
actually chatted to
see,
you.
sorry, look at this. See, so there you go.
Yeah.
See, it shows how many different organisations and different arguments you get yourself involved in. So good old Patriot. It's brilliant. So,
Yeah.
right, let's get on to something a bit trivial here then. Away from all this, because you're obviously up and down everywhere, what puts you guys in a good place? As a couple, whatever, or as individuals, when you want to get away from all this and when you want to just have your own free time, or as a couple, what's good for you?
Oh, we go wandering. We do a bit of urban exploring.
Urban
Yeah, we do.
exploring. Please expand on that, Brett.
Well, if there's a tunnel or a derelict house or
abandoned mansion,
abandoned mansions, anything like that.
Right.
you like exploring them
Right. Do you do it just as a couple, or have you got a few people that you go and do this with?
as a family. Children
Right.
join in
Kids
as well.
Right. So what's the biggest, the most exciting building that you've been into? It's like what whether it be for scary reasons or maybe what you've clocked. What would it be?
There's a mansion. It's being done up now, I believe. We've kept a bit of an eye on it, but there's a beautiful mansion in Edenfield area, Rochdale, leading towards like Bury and Bake Up and that area.
Yeah.
I've known it all my life. I've been driving past it all my life and things, and I knew it was there. And we drove past one day, and I was like, yeah. When I was pulled over, and it was very derelict. The kids have obviously been in there, and at some point, there was parties going on there, illegal raves and everything going on there at one point. But when we got there, it was in a bit of a sorry state. We made a video, had a wander around, and did a few dangerous things and that, as you do, and. Well, it's just things like that we do.
Oh, brilliant.
It was gorgeous. You could see how
you could see all the old traditions still left inside it.
Right.
Yeah, and there was loads of jaguars and things outside the back of it.
being left.
Right, just like stone external statues, you mean? Or real life
basically, yeah.
Right. I'd have got them in the back of the fucking van, mate. I'm selling your eBay.
No, you don't do that. No, all you do is leave footprints. You don't ever take nothing. That's wrong.
All right. Look, here's me. Look at me.
Never take
I'll be the one.
That's you told off, Phil.
You know what I mean?
Well, someone else can come along then and see it themselves, can't they? We take it, then it's lost.
Well, yeah, it's lost in a way, mate. Where does the loss?
It gone past any sort of preservation. Put it this way, that building.
Yeah, no, I get it, mate. I'll tell a quick story. There was one time I grew up in Miles Platting. There's a mill that I lived opposite called Victoria Mill. And before they renovated, it looks beautiful now. Businesses, apartments in there. It was derelict for years. Massive mill right on the side of the canal. Me and my friends decided to go in there one night just for a novel, have a walk round, and it's got a tower in the middle of the two actual blocks. We went up the spiral staircase and we was walking in there, pipes were burst, everything was ripped out, gutted. You can hear dripping from other rooms and all kind of little mad sounds and things rustling about. We got up to the top of these stairs and I don't know what it was. I don't know whether it was just heightened senses, but we heard a little noise and we legged it. And it was like the fear factor of when you think that something is actually there. You can't prove it, you don't know it, but you're not going to stand there and wait and find out. So we shot out of there like a rat out of a frigging drain pipe. And I swear to God, none of us actually caught a breath until we were outside. We were literally falling over each other and we would have left them. You know what I mean? It was one of them and it's fair, isn't it? But yeah, I can't say I do that normally. That was just a one-off. But it's interesting that you talk about that in a sense that, there's so many interesting tunnels and disused pits. I mean, safety level and things like that, you've got to adhere to that. But Manchester itself has got a lot of subterranean tunnels and all kinds of different interesting things going on underneath us, isn't it, really?
We watch a guy called Martin Zero. I don't know whether you know him or not, or heard of him. He's
I've heard of him.
Mancunian. He's done loads.
Fabulous.
He's gone viral on a couple of occasions on to do with the canals in the centre of Manchester, because one of the canals has actually got a plug at the bottom of it.
I seen that. It's like a wooden block in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I seen.
Yeah.
And my mate
That's
said,
him.
"Watch that video,
Martin
mate."
Zero.
How crazy is that? So what's that? You know,
Yeah,
it
and
makes-
underneath that plug is another river of Manchester.
Yeah, it's a river under a river, isn't it?
A river under a
Okay.
canal.
How fascinating when you really get into it. So that puts you in your
Manchester
field.
is amazing.
Well, it is as a city, and you know what, mate? How often is it that we all walk around not looking at buildings, not looking at the architecture?
You don't see it, do you? You don't
You
see
know-
it till you look.
Yeah, you really, you know, and that in itself can put you within the position within the city itself. It makes you realize your place within it. You know what I mean? When that building's been there for 300-400 years, it was that before you were here, and now you know you start to then think of all the different processional moves. That's made
Yeah, I
it
love all that.
now.
That's why I do it. That's why I do it. I can see it then, you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Until you look, you don't see it, and then you can build a picture, and then you can go through the history. Oh, that was that. Oh, and that was used for that. It's like rivers and things. You see these big piles of stone there, and you think it's just a big pile of stone. But if you look closer, you can see that it was probably a water wheel or something like that, or a sluice gate or something else. You know what I mean? When you look, you can see it then.
Mate, you know what? You know, we're going to be regarded as geeks here.
I'm
It
not
does
bothered.
sound
I
geeky, but
don't care.
I'm well
I
on
like
it.
steam trains as well.
I'm well on it, mate. I love me orienteering. I love getting out and about. I love having wonders, and I love looking at landscapes because it makes you think. I'll look at a tree and I'll think of, wow, how old that is. What was here? Why is there nothing around it? What, you know, when I'm on the motorway, when we're going on to destinations, I'll see a mound in a big field, a massive fucking mound. I'm like, whoa. It gets you thinking, why is that there? What's the history behind it? Why is no one
Absolutely.
talking? You know what I mean? It's like,
It's probably there for a reason.
of course it is. And a
I
history.
hug trees, Phil. Don't worry about it.
What's that, Helen?
I love hugging trees.
Do
There you
mate?
go. I'm a geek and I love it.
You know, the tree of life. The tree of
It is,
life.
well.
You know what I mean? It's like a visualization of it, innit? What we're all about. So
Yeah.
one thing, just to change a little bit, guys, because I know someone mentioned Roxanne. Okay. Roxanne, the Really Woke Show. Now, I've got to say, the Really Woke Show is really doing some really great stuff. If I've got a tab up here, yeah, let me show this. Sorry, guys, just flipping back to the activism a little bit. I'm just going to give this young lady a plug because she deserves it. There, if you can see that I've just put up. This is the YouTube page. I'm going to get the link and probably, you know, I'm probably singing to the choir here because probably everyone knows exactly the work she does. But if people don't and they're watching this stream, Really Woke Show, I see these guys' graphics and I'm so envious of what they do. It's fucking amazing. But ultimately, they're just going around covering marches like we do as independent journalists, as free individuals as well. But they're constantly on it and they're up and down covering different parts of the country as well. So brilliant. I had to give them a massive, massive mention. So with that, Kate, do you want to jump in and say anything? Because I'm going to have to cut the stream short in a little bit because I've got a takeaway with my name written all over it.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
there's one thing, but I'm going to take over and put it on your screen for you.
What's that?
I'm just going to take over for a second and put it up on your screen because you'll remember as soon as I put it up.
Go on, Keith.
How can I forget? Right. How can I
Get
forget?
told, Phil.
You know what I mean? Look at me. Here's me robbing derelict buildings. Now I'm not talking about raffles, right, Kater?
Bear with me though, because the door's just gone, so I'm going to leave it with you for a second.
Oh, for
Yeah.
God's sake. Throw me right in the deep end. Oh, right.
Deal with it.
Deal with it, right. My pressure. Basically, Kate is holding a raffle. Boom, there we go. I think she's holding two different raffles, and I do believe there's multiple prizes. It's almost like one of them raffles where no one's a loser in it, guys. You know what I mean? Everyone.
No one's ever a loser on Katie's raffles.
No, and there's merchandise galore, and hey up, 500-year-old oak tree being taken down. Oh no, look, we're getting tree huggers coming out here, Helen, talking about 500-year-old trees that are being taken down. But yes, so Katie Jane is doing this raffle. It's on her channel, Katie childrenmatter.news, and this is the Boxing Day raffle. First and second prize, Children Matter hoodie. Third and fourth is a special edition hoodie. Fifth and sixth is a custom Children Matter jigsaw. So this is for the children, okay? Seventh and eighth is Children Matter t-shirt. Ninth and 10th, I mean 10th, normally you just get winners and losers. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, pretty much everyone's getting something. 9th and 10th, special edition t-shirt. To enter into the raffle, email support@childrensmatter.news. And then we've got another raffle here at the side, New Year raffle. 3 times, there's a book here, a signed book, a Michael Tarragon. Is that the meat rack, is it?
Yeah, meat rack boy.
Right, okay,
right,
meat rack
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to chat to that guy. I really
He's fabulous, Bill.
I suggest you do it soon, mate. That's all I can say. You need to do that soon if that's what you're saying.
I've heard that. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, mate. I hear what you're saying. Second place is Children Matter hoodie. This is an adult one, is it? I'm presuming. Third place.
Yeah, I think these are all the adult prizes, these ones.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the Boxing Day one is all the kids, and the New Year's one is all the adults one. So we've doing a separate one for children, so you can get your kids involved with it, or you can win something for your kids. And then obviously there's the New Year's raffle. We have got more than what's on the list though, because we've had 10 premium Wake Up UK memberships donated to us as well. We've also had a family boat ride as well. It's been donated to us, and there's more stuff due to be donated as well. So on the day there will be more prizes than what is on there. So there'll be a couple of surprises for people as well.
Right, will you take a few seconds out now, Kate, to explain to people exactly how they can enter, what they need to do, and all the other details that they need to know?
Well, basically, if you want to get involved with it, you can either get in touch with me directly, anyone from Children Matter directly, they'll be able to help you out as well, or you'll be able to email support@childrenmatter.news. Quote which raffle you want to be involved in, whether it's a Boxing Day one for the kids stuff, whether it's a New Year's raffle for the adult stuff, or whether you want to be involved in both and how many of which tickets you want to get. And yeah, it's that simple. £1 a ticket. I'll never go over £1 on the tickets because it's just not in my DNA to do that. So yeah, if you want to get involved with it, we're going to be doing like multiple prizes again like we did on the last one. So if your name is pulled more than once, then you will get some extra on the side. It won't be next that's on the list because we want to save them so everyone gets a chance to win. But if your name is pulled more than once, you'll get an added prize as well sent over with your winning prize, which is on the screen. So there's a couple of different things up for it. I see Phil's not on the not near his sofa as well. He's run off.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, so we're looking forward to it. We are pushing it. So yeah, if you do want to get involved with it, you can either, as I said, get in touch with us directly, or you can email us through support@childrenmatter.news. We've not put a limit on them. Obviously, we're hoping that we don't get people buying stupid amounts of tickets, but we've never had that issue. Everyone seems to be quite respectful in how they get involved with it and everything as well. So yeah, hopefully it turns out to be a good one and we can bring some more people together like we did with the last two.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Well, it's just positive, isn't it? When it provides, it's one of them things where a good raffle, if it's run the right way, can generate money for the person holding the raffle, which can be utilised for the positive things that we've said, but it gives something back. So in a world where to do activism, having a bit of cash, how to generate it, it's something where it gives something back as well as they're giving something. So it's a two-way thing. It's not just a PayPal, you're just paying someone, you know what I mean? I do believe.
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. I believe that the guy who's actually donated the family boat ride is actually just popped up in the chat.
Oh, really? Who is it?
Good on
Tameside
him.
Canal Boat Trust.
Yes. So this is the chap, is it?
Yeah, I believe so by the name.
Well, I'd like to say well done, mate. Well done. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's a hell of a donation, and you can see that someone is going to enjoy that. It'd be nice if you got
That
footage
would be great.
of whoever actually won that, and then you could put that up as an upload if they were okay with it being filmed, as in a positive thing of something that won a prize. That then, you know what I mean?
That's
I
a great
agree.
idea, Phil.
I know there's a couple of mods as well who have done and are doing the same thing as what they've done with the last two raffles as well, where they're buying raffle tickets, which they actually intend on donating to someone if they do win. So we have got a couple of people who are actually either donating tickets or intending on donating prizes if they do win anyway.
Yeah. Look at this. Great Brit. I want a boat ride.
Yeah.
Get him the few great Brit.
You know what I mean? You know what? That's give me a good thought, actually.
Just
What
to give
about-
people a heads up as well, with the last two raffles, the tickets have started as soon as the raffles got off the ground. The tickets have been going pretty fast as well. Obviously, I know we're going to have that issue as we're doing two different ones, but just so people have got a heads up that there is a tendency of when it gets off the ground that they do just go.
Well, I've got my tickets, so I don't give a shit about anyone else, personally speaking, because I want them prizes, Kater. I'm not saying I want you to be corrupt, but I want you to make sure that my numbers come up before anyone else's. I'm sorry. I'm not doing this for nothing, right? Seriously. So, just sorry. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I should have just said that in a WhatsApp
Can't
chat
believe
in
you
the
take
background.
one of those kids' jigsaws. You're
Mate,
evil.
I'm taking the cougars out that mansion. Never mind the fucking hoodies. I'm grabbing whatever I can. You know what I mean?
The special edition stuff that is going to be down to obviously a couple of people have seen the website already of the patriotic merchandise part of the website. It will be a choice of up to the winner of what they want. I'm just going to pull the hoodie screen up for a second just so I can show people like what the choices are at the minute for winners, obviously if they get one of the special edition stuff. So I need to take that screen off so don't I? Right, so these are some of the special edition hoodies. Obviously, these two are the standard Children Matter hoodies. So if you win one of the Children Matter stuff, it will be the standard stuff like this. Obviously, if you win this special edition and you want them as well, you can pick them. But we do have quite a big range of different styles of stuff. So it would be up to the winner of what style they wanted. And it's not just Children Matter stuff that we've got on here as well. If any of the other groups want to put up any of their stuff as a bit of free advertisement for themselves, then they're more than welcome to as well.
Yeah.
Brett wants them all here, Katie. Brett's sitting here going, I want that one.
I like that one. Well, like that one.
That's nice for the hands from the back. I like that one.
Mine's the Union Jack one. I love the Union Jack one.
Look who's
I
here,
need
Kater.
a new
Check who's
hoodie,
here.
Katie, remember? I got blown up.
Brett. I've
for
just
the
got
country.
a big hello. I've just got to give a big hello to TKE Media. Remember this guy who was talking around in Liverpool? So I've got, he's obviously jumped on the channel. So how you doing, sir? Put links in there for your channel and stuff. So yeah, sorry guys, them hoodies look mint. Your merchandise is like first class, I've got to say, you've got a very wide, comprehensive range of merchandise. Do you want to run through everything you've got? It is, isn't it?
Well, I've
It's really
decided
cool
as well,
looking also.
because I've decided to focus a bit more on my fitness and try and get my health back up. I've got my treadmill back out work. I started doing physio back on my knee as well. I decided that I was going to treat myself like as an early Christmas present, because obviously Christmas is a hard time of the year for me anyway. So I've actually bought myself some Children Matter leggings, a Children Matter workout top, and a new Children Matter hoodie as well.
Go, Katie.
I told you, you're stocking up. You're stocking up. Is there anything that's not actually Children's Matter? I bet you've got Children's Matter wallpaper. I bet you've got a Children's Matter door. You know what I mean?
idea,
I think you press your telly, instead of it being like Becco, it's like Children's Matter News or something. It's like, Jesus, you're taking over the world here, Katie. There's something quite worrying about this.
It's the kids. The kids are becoming focused. That's a great thing.
No, it's brilliant. I love it. And it's different ways of reaching people, innit? You know what I mean? Not everyone wants a mug. Some people will want a hoodie. Not everyone wants a hoodie. They'll want something else. You know what I mean? It's just all depending. And I think it's great. It's the way to go forward. And it's a good way of generating honest funds that no one can dispute for your channel. You know what I mean?
Great advertising.
And
I've been putting other group stuff on there and everything as well, so that none of it comes to us. All we do is literally advertise it. All the links go directly to either who designed it or the group's logos, who it belongs to, or anything like that. So they don't not everything on there belongs to Children Matter. So Children Matter doesn't see, a lot of what gets sold off there. And one of the main things that we do on there is we don't want to point out whose stuff belongs to who, because the whole point of it is we all just want to share our stuff. We are all equal. It shouldn't matter who's made what. If that item speaks to you, then it speaks to you for a reason. Shouldn't matter who made it.
Yeah. It's about the product, isn't it?
Of course it is. And hopefully it's just about positivity and about doing the right thing. You know what I mean? There's too many people literally just putting a PayPal up there. No one knows where it goes. Everyone's like saying, well, it's for this reason. But then accusations come flying out. This is more honest, just in your face. You know what you're getting? You're getting a mug. You're getting a keyring. You're getting a frick. You know what I mean? It's like, really? Do you want to... Let's simplify this. You give me the money. You get the mug. Everyone's happy, and it's just a two-way thing. So no, I think it's brilliant what you're doing, right, guys? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to introduce one more little talking point. Probably should have covered loads more, and people go, why aren't they talking about this? Because life is life, and we end up chatting shit before you know it. So one last point, guys. I just want to show you, totally off point, right? If you were walking, right, Brett, if you were walking in a mansion and you seen this in a back garden, what would you say?
I want it.
Wicked.
Fucking
I
wicked,
really want that.
Jesus Christ.
Eyes of that thing.
Telling you, that is what is it? A Purosaurus. It's a well-known giant crocodile. This crocodile dominated.
Well known.
I know, innit? You see one of them every day. Central South America during the Miocene period, roughly 8 million years old. So it's quite an old fucker. And was highly successful in regard to tackling large prey. Do you think the size of its frigging head of that?
Yeah, what size the rest of it like?
Look at it. It's as he could get in that. He could get in
a sleeping bag for him, then, isn't it, or something?
Man. And the beauty of it, right? Look at it this way. I had a really stupid thought, Brett. I thought, you know what? Has anyone ever seen, what's that program called now, where the soapbox derby thing, yeah? Where they make go-kart. I'm thinking, you could make a fat-ass go-kart out of that, couldn't you? You know what I mean? Put a nice steering column on it, put a few mag wheels on it. I'm like, fucking hell. No one's going to come near you. You could put headlamps where the eyes used to be. And I'm thinking, sorry, it's really getting stupid, but just to give it its context, that this is...
Does it have one nostril?
Mate, I didn't get close enough to find out, you know what I'm saying? Fuck me. Look at the size of it. Look at the size of it. And compared to a normal alligator, Americano alligator at the top there, and look at the size of it. Dude, I ain't counting its nostrils. I ain't counting nothing. I'm taking it. It's going to hurt me if it gets me. So I'm late as hot footing that baby. So I'm sorry.
That's a big one.
It is a big one, isn't it? And I hope you're talking about that, mate. You know what I mean? But, sorry, I'm getting silly. So is there any last points that you want to bring up, guys, before I get going? Hey, up. What the hell? Oh, my word. Look at that.
It's my Goliath bird eater.
I've
It's
got
a
one of them
live
myself.
baby. Is it a tarantula? Yeah.
Yeah.
You just said that. Yeah. It's just well, look at how that's
But
normal,
you do realise I've got one in that glass tank over there, right?
right? I
One
just
that's
know
actually
if
alive. That's the one that's tattooed there.
right. I've got a shoebox down there. It's full of wires and USB cables, not a fucking tarantula, Kater. So let's get on that bit. You know what I'm saying?
We've got both.
Luke
Brett's got the
okay.
wires and cables, and I've got the tarantula.
Yeah, Luke
Man.
okay, sent it, man. It was ace.
Wow. How long you had it?
It got here on Halloween. It literally got here the day of Halloween. And I actually scared myself opening it because I realised what it was as soon as I got back into the house and realised how light it was.
Yeah.
So I literally just fucking sat there opening it and I was like, it's going to jump out. It's going to put a spring in there. So as soon as I open it, it's going to jump out. And it's still got all the hairs on it and everything. So I won't even touch it.
You videoed it, didn't you, Kate? I remember watching the video. You're opening it.
Yeah, I did actually video me opening it.
Yeah.
I sat there going, I'm just scared myself now.
Graham asked, did you get it from JD Sports?
Definitely not.
Is that a freebie with a pair of Nikes or something? It's like, what the hell? You know what I
I
mean?
mean, I can connect my phone and show you my tarantula if you want.
Go on then. Good job it's from there. Honestly, don't do this next time I come to your house. Honestly, it's not that I'm mad. I've got a phobia against spiders, but I can't say I've been in close contacts with big furry things like that. You know what I mean? And I'll be definitely, I'm at your house. I'll be looking at every freaking shoebox you've got as well.
I need to try and figure out as well how to turn my camera around on this, so this should be fun.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Okay.
she has a few critters knocking about.
I know, what the hell? I mean, that man. Honestly, I know how my kids would react. They flip out with a dragonfly flying around the house. If I had that in a shoebox, game over. I would have to go. You know what I mean? They couldn't have me in the house with that. Just not happening. But I commend you because they are beautiful pets, I guess. Hey, where's she gone?
I'm here. But yeah, here's Taco.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell.
Taco's cute.
Taco. There's nothing cute. If you throw a mouse in there, it'll show you how cute he is. You know what I mean? There's nothing. Oh, what the hell? Has he ever bit you?
Not me, no.
Not you. So it has bit someone.
Well, it lashed for my ex, but it was his fault. We just travelled from mine down to his.
When you say lash, did it actually get contact?
No, it didn't get contact. It was through the tank.
Oh, right. Jesus. So
Lick hers at you, don't they?
Yeah.
yeah, they get embedded and stuff, don't they? Man, you're brave, you know.
Well, the
Jesus
hairs
Christ.
used itching powder.
Wow.
Tarantula hair is literally the main ingredient in itching powder. That's why I won't actually pick that skin up because it's still got all the hairs all over it. So they're like little arrows. If you get it embedded in you and you rub it, you're just going to embed it deeper and deeper. Tissue paper, kitchen paper, dabbing it out, pulls it back out.
Explains a lot, Kater. It explains a lot why when I come to get this wonderful hoodie, I was doing non-stop itching for 4 days afterwards. And I'm like, why is that? Is it because the material's not? No, because there's the fucking spider's hairs all over it.
Taco's been living in it.
I know. Or was it doing like the windmill all over the inside of my hoodie? Like, yes, Red Pill Phil's on this. Get on that. I don't know. Sorry.
That's a limited edition one, that Phil.
I know, innit? Innit?
It actually is. It actually is a limited edition one as well. Because I remember when you were ordering it, you were like, what colours do you have? I'm like, we can do any colour. What colour should I go for? Do you not want to go for red? We'll go for red. Right.
I just had to. It just seemed the most norm. And it is nice. I do like it. And it's quite distinctive as well.
You have to change your name.
Say, I know, mate. I know. Well, I won't be changing it to cutie freaking spider flakes anyway. That's for sure. You know what I mean? That's freaked me out in some ways. But it's not something I would have around the house. I've got tropical fish. I've got cold water fish, but things like that. That's a bit big for me. That I think I'd rather have that crocodile skull in my living room than I would have that spider. If I'm really going to be honest with you.
Would be a great talking point. That as like
Wouldn't it?
a dining room, a table or something.
Mate,
Big
that'd be
piece of
mate.
glass on top of it.
Mate, make it into some kind of funky Moses basket for your daughter. Freak her the fuck out until she's like 18.
Moses
Like,
basket,
Dad,
full
do you
size
know
bloody
what?
double bed. Moses
Unfortunately,
basket. That'd have to be a big baby, that Phil.
unfortunately, like, the last cat I had, which I was really looking forward to, was my Boss monitor. That's the one I've got. That's the one I've got tattooed there. And
Right.
they grow up to 6 foot, and they're very, very, very temperamental. But they make the best guard dogs ever, and I was so looking forward to it because it was that big when I got him.
Right. And what's the biggest it got to?
They can grow up to 6.5 foot.
What's the biggest yours got up to?
That big.
Right. And when you're talking past tense, I take it you haven't got it now.
No, it was one of them. It was one of them times where I got told by social, if I got rid of all my pets, I'd win my kids back. Didn't
Right.
work.
Oh,
No.
no.
I had
Oh.
15 reptiles, right, in 12 different tanks. It was like walking into a sauna, walking into my home, right, and they were all fucking tame. They all had fucking locks on it and everything like that. So there was no reason for them even to be an issue because it's not like they were running around the house.
You know what, right? My wife has got a mad phobia against turtles and tortoises, and you could say irrational. It is a phobia. It's an irrational fear. She freaks the fuck out over it. Really is, and it's crazy because we went looking for fish in a pet store that's local to us, and there was turtles in a container that was well contained, and out of it, she pretty much froze, started shaking, grabbed hold of me like she was going to squeeze me down to the bone. She wouldn't move. She was petrified. She was like literally stood still, like that, grabbing me. And I'm like, it's over there. It's actually showing an arrow. There's nothing near you. We're actually in another segment of where the animals are. But because she's seen the sign saying this way, all of a sudden she freaks out. So when you tell me about how many reptiles, I've got a feeling my wife's never going to come to your house if you start talking like that on a regular basis. You know what I mean?
I mean, I got a nickname when I was like, late teenager, early adult sort of thing. My nickname was Purple Medusa.
Purple.
Yeah, I managed to find some pictures the other day of why I got named Purple Medusa. It's one of them.
Oh, Jesus. You're doxing yourself here. You know that, don't you?
I don't give a monkeys. I always had my snake with me.
And could I just say, this is multi-streaming going all over the bleeding stratosphere. We're probably interconnecting with different galaxies at this point, and now Katie's just throwing out all the worst picks. Go for it, girl.
I don't mind. It's got my snake on it. I don't care.
No, I'm only messing.
That particular snake, right? She was called Cobb. I named her Cobb because she was a corn snake, corn on cob. But I actually travelled, paid my next door neighbour fuel costs to go all the way down to London to go and get her to come all the way back. And on a whim, because the people who had her said that because the son was going off to university and that's who owned the snake, if no one bought it, they were just gonna leave it to it because they didn't want to feed it. Oh. So all the way down, I had her for fucking everything. She was my first girl. She was my baby girl as far as I was concerned. She went shop with me. She was out in the garden with me. Everywhere I went, I had that snake with me.
Look at the picture of Phil.
I know. I'm processing what you're saying because it's different, folks. You know, everyone's different.
I've got a picture of me going to the shop with my son in his little trike with his little sun umbrella. And if you zoom it in, you can see the snake wrapped around my ponytail coming down my shoulder and along my arm.
You remind me of the guy that lived round here, right? And it was weird. A guy walked round and he was walking, no word of a lie. It was on a lead. It was an African summit turtle. It looked prehistoric. It was like sandy colour. And it had knobbles sticking out of it, like something had stuck in bits of Lego on it. And I'm like, what the hell? He's just walking down the street. And everyone was filming him. And he was loving the attention, to be fair. But I thought, man, the world is going mad. Because, walking down the street with something like that is not what you normally see. But when you've got people who have got a love of pets like yourself, that is just a normal act. When you're walking down the street with a freaking python as a fucking necklace, it's like, right, that's normal. You know what I mean?
Of course, mate.
But I'm awkward around people I don't know and I've never met before because of my anxiety. So having something around me that people were scared of, or most people misunderstood, it was like one of them little. It kept my bubble clear. No one got in my personal space. No one dared get in my personal space. It was great.
Do you think?
It's just like having a Rottweiler in a case.
You know what I mean?
Bearded dragons. We had, them little
animals are better than people. I know that.
You know, she sounded like Game of Thrones here, didn't she? Christ, unleash all these reptiles if you piss our Katie off. She's going to take your spanner and then she's going to put a snake through your letterbox. You know what I mean? Then you fuck. Just like give it 5 minutes and watch that door open.
The only reason we ever got a tarantula in the first place is because it was when my son was living here. The social worker made the mistake of telling me in front of my son that she was petrified of spiders, and if we ever got a tarantula, she'd never come round. Yeah. And at the end of the month, when he got to decide what he wanted a tarantula.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it. It's our perceptions of it being urbanized individuals. We're not used to it. If we lived in the Amazon jungle, it's no big deal. You think a tarantula's bad? Look at that over there. You know what I mean? It'll be one of them. You know what I mean? There'll be all kinds of shit swinging in the trees that we'd be freaking out at. You know what I mean? You don't have to watch one episode of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And you're like, right, okay then. You know what I mean? A tarantula is nothing. It is an exotic pet to us, but it's just one of the creatures of the world, isn't it?
Misunderstanding, isn't it? If you understand something, you're less inclined to be scared of it or afraid of it.
Yeah, exactly. Understanding, realizing, you know what I mean? That's brilliant. But listen, guys, I'm going to have to get going because I'm absolutely starving. I've just seen me take
away. I am too.
Oh, sorry,
We're
guys.
We're having as well, Phil. I'm starving.
Oh, sorry. Right. Well, do you want to finish up, guys? Because I know you've been sat there patiently while we've been gabbing about reptiles. Anything you want to finish with?
Good company.
Been a great stream. I guess we're going to see you very soon, aren't we?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't say when and where, but I guess it's going to be very, very soon. And
very soon.
Very soon. You stay lucky. You stay safe. And maybe you should carry one of them tarantulas with you, Brett. And next time they go, can I search your pocket? Yeah, fucking search my pocket, mate.
Could you know what I mean? This while I give you my details?
Yeah, exactly. Put it around your neck. Get one of the snakes. That's at ground with a
There's one in our house, so yeah.
Neck.
And of course, snake.
Give me a section.
We've got a tarantula and a course, snake. We're laughing.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Who's this? Right. Phil, would you be interested in viewing on what? Mandy Moo. Would you be interested in interviewing me on Story? Well, I'm always interested in interviewing anyone, but yeah, I guess we can talk about that at a later date. But yeah, certainly. But thank you to everyone for jumping in. Thank you to you guys for your work again with that stream. Hopefully, we're going to do more of that in the future if you're up for it. And it's going to be the start of things to come. Thanks to Katie for taking the time out and for you being you, and keep on it with your childrenmatter.news and all things childrensmatter.news. So, any guys, do you want to end it with anything? Do you want to say anything? Any last words, literally, before I end the stream?
Well,
I do not consent.
I do not consent, yeah.
Right, you, Katie?
Yeah, I know a couple of people have just joined at the end where we've just been having a laugh and a joke and a talk about, exotic pets and that. But yeah, we did talk about some pretty serious stuff, which is worth going back and rewatching. Links will be in the chat as well on both mine and Phil's channels and all the other channels that we are live on as well. But yeah, thank you guys.
There's more to come.
Certainly, you've got to have light as well as dark. So I don't want to come in here and start talking about all the nefarious stuff that's in the marches without talking about the fun things that make us feel good and human. Someone actually put there, you're a great load of human beings. We're just talking about human things that makes you smile, Helen. Brett, makes you smile as well. And
it's reality, isn't it? You know what I mean? We're all human. We're all just normal people, really. We all have differences, but we're all that's just the normality of it.
Without a doubt. And all you guys have done is express what makes you whole. You know what I mean? Like with me, it's getting on my bike and just chatting like there's no tomorrow. You know what I mean? So everyone's got their own different little things, and it's great. Keep doing it because it keeps you alive, doesn't it? Brilliant. So with that, guys, I'm going to say see you to everyone on the stream. Thank you to everyone for jumping on. And as ever, there'll be more streams popping up on different matters. There'll be more content coming up. And yeah, I guess there's only one more thing to say. And
besides the raffle, get on the raffle.
Get on the raffle. Get on the raffle. Two things to say. Get on the raffle. And what's the last thing I'm going to say, Peter? Anyone know what's the last thing?
I know what the last thing is.
What is it? What is it, Brett?
I love you all, even the pissing haters.
Boom!
I love you all. 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 Even the pissing haters. I love you all. 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 I love you all.
You've got to end the broadcast. You can't just leave me on it.
I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm gone like a